Paulette Blunt serves as Measure's Chief Research Officer. In this role, she provides project management and oversight of the various ongoing initiatives, assists with research briefs and reports, creating training for police departments, and hosting community meetings. Paulette has her background is in public health with a focus in behavioral health. She is currently a healthcare policy analyst. She has a few years experience consulting primary care practices to help integrate behavioral health care in the primary care setting. In addition, Paulette spent 2 years as a quality improvement coordinator for family medicine practice, working on hospital readmissions and changing clinical practices to help drive better patient health outcomes and lower healthcare utilization costs. She has co-authored various publications on the quality improvement initiatives she worked on and presented at a few conferences around the nation. Welcome, Ms. Paulette Blunt.
Thank you.
So my next person is Jennifer King. Jennifer King is a retired regional director from the Texas Department of Criminal Justice and best-selling author of 33 Years a Slave, Removing Chains from Live, Love, and Business, who recrafted her life to help others be free to live a life they love. Serving 33 years in her position, being a self-admitted slave to what was important to other people, Jennifer now spends her time helping others realize that life is too short not to do what you love, and that you can profit just as well from what you love as you can from building someone else's dreams. As a regional director for the Texas Department of Criminal Justice, Jennifer received numerous awards, including the Texas Corrections Association Star Award. As an entrepreneur, she has been honored with the New Entrepreneur Expo Award, the Influential Black Women in Houston Award, and the Women's Online Networking Conference Quick Coach of the Year Award, as her work with freeing frustrated employees takes her all over the country. Prior to creating the opportunities that would free her, Jennifer spent many years in leadership positions with several multi-level marketing companies until she realized that what she had in her hand was enough to set her free. Both friends and colleagues describe Jennifer as being hardworking and dedicated to the mission while still being focused on fun. If you are ready to be free from the chains of life that hold you bound, Jennifer is the expert for you to work with to bridge the gap between your reality and your dreams. After all, she freed herself, so it's likely she can share the tools to free you too. Let's welcome Jennifer King. Our next panel member is Jordan. Am I saying Sabir?
It's Subaru, like Subaru.
Okay. Jordan owns a marketing agency called Vibrations Marketing, and his clients refer to him as the Marketing King. He went to college for psychology and marketing and has also published 2 books so far. One of the biggest quotes that he lives by is, "If we are not making the world a better place and the people in it lives better, then what is the point?" His biggest mission is to always do one thing every day that makes the place we call home better. Quote, "Love mercy, do justice, walk humbly." Sorry. Let's welcome Jordan. And our last panel member is, last but definitely not least, is Mr. Grant E. Lovelace. Grant E. Lovelace is a spoken word poet and an award-winning social entrepreneur and student leader in the city of Austin. He works for Austin Community College's Career Services Department as their student ambassador and engagement specialist. He also works for Austin Justice Coalition as their community and policy fellow. Measure Austin as their social media manager and various nonprofits as a liaison to create equitable and inclusive spaces for Black and brown students. A quote that Lovelace lives by is, "Let all you do be done in love." 1 Corinthians 16:14. Let's welcome Grant E. Lovelace. So now we will get ready to discuss the questions, and I'm going to cut the questions a little bit since we are limited on time. And no one, you sure you don't want to see?
No.
Okay. I'll go ahead and sit down. All right, so since we already talked a little bit about what you do for a living, we can kind of skip that question. But the next question that I do want to ask is, do you enjoy your work? Why or why not? So you want to start?
I can start, yes. I definitely enjoy my work. Welcome, hello everyone. Thank you so much for having me. Again, my name is Jennifer King. I love my work because it allows me to talk to people, frustrated employees who have been working a job for many, many years like I have, give them the hope and the outlook to know that you don't have to work a job in order to live life. See, we've been brought up that that's what we have to do. But I have a gift for you guys, so be sure you stay tuned. I have a gift for you guys that's going to help you guys determine what chains are keeping you bound in your life, love, and business. And once you free yourself from those chains, you're going to love everything that you do because you're going to be working in your purpose.
Thank you. Awesome. You want to take that question?
Absolutely. I love what I do because I get to interact with students who have been marginalized or have been disadvantaged by systems that have been put in place to challenge their success. So throughout ACC, I love interacting and assisting students with their academic and professional needs because that's where it all starts, is with the education. Because there's so much trauma and transgressions that a lot of Black and brown students do go through. And especially at Austin Community College, it's really a close-knit family in a sense. So I love my work.
Yeah. My work as Chief of Research for Measure. So for those of you who aren't familiar with Measure, they're an Austin-based nonprofit that focuses on using data to empower communities to solve to address disparities. And so that looks like a lot of work that translates to police work that we do in policing, the education system, looking at the school to prison pipeline, and we really use numbers and help that to be a common language so that we can talk with people who are part of these institutions and systems and start creating some change. And so I really love that work because I know what the system has done to people and what the outcomes look like. So the numbers to me just aren't numbers, but they're people experiences. So I don't know if you guys are familiar with the racial profiling police report that came out, but yeah, those numbers show that Black communities and brown communities are being targeted as far as traffic citations. But to me, those outcomes look like people who may get arrested and then now their whole lives are kind of turned upside down, or this family now loses their breadwinner, and all of those outcomes. So like my work, I feel like is just super impactful, and I really enjoy doing it. My day job, which is in public health, and it's focused a little bit more on policy change. This is still a pretty new role. So I like that I'm learning to see how these things are changing, but there's a lot in that role that I'm frustrated with understanding how these systems are so bureaucratic and they take forever to change, and that's super frustrating. So that's one aspect of that role that I just do not enjoy or just find myself being frustrated with.
I love that. I definitely love what I do. Like for me, I found like one of the best ways to help support people is through marketing. So like for me, personally, when my business first started, I was failing left and right, couldn't do anything about it until I learned how to do marketing. And hoping my clients do the same thing. They can turn their dreams and their passions into reality and live on their own terms and have the freedom to do so. So I definitely love marketing and helping people do that. And one of the biggest things for me too is realizing that when my clients tell me I changed their whole life because of my marketing practices with them, that's the best and most rewarding part of my job.
That's great.
Thank you.
So I would say you did hit on some challenges that you might have in your line of work. But do any of you have any challenges that you would like to hit on, I guess, in the work that you do day to day?
One of the challenges that I have in my work is getting people to get outside their head. Okay. Because Taraji talked about depression and anxiety. I didn't know what those words meant. So when I was younger, so I worked in an institution for 33 years and enslaved myself because I thought that was all there was for me. I thought I couldn't function outside of the work environment
Right.
when I really can. See, we talk bad to ourselves. If our friends talk to us the way we talk to ourselves, it would be a fight, right?
Yeah.
Right? Everybody would get ready to fight, but we talk
Yeah.
so bad to ourselves. We down ourselves. We self-doubt, a lot of those things. So I find the challenge is getting people to understand that there's more out there for you. But that's what we're brought up to go to
Right.
work a job, retire, and then what? If you don't have a retirement plan in this workforce today, what are you going to do?
Right.
Right? So if you don't do something now, and like I was a slave for 33 years living paycheck to paycheck. If I hadn't have done anything, I'd still be at that job. I'd be in my 35th year, right? Living
Yeah.
paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah.
So that's what I find a challenge, is getting people to understand and put the work in, because a lot of times people want things to come real easy.
Yeah.
That's a good. Yeah.
Right.
Does anybody else have anything they want to add?
I would say for my line of work, it's I would say the main challenge is fighting inequities,
Okay.
and challenging systems that haven't been in place for decades.
Okay.
Because when you have a system that has been perpetuating a lot of stigma and a lot of trauma with Black and brown communities and students, it's kind of hard to challenge that system and the people that put that system in place. And then from working with Measure Austin, I learned that data is an act of persuasion for justice, and that it can create a certain language that people can appeal to. So that's a main challenge itself in trying to allocate data about Black and brown students at community colleges or universities have put aside or even haven't done.
Right.
To challenge those said systems in order to create those equitable and inclusive spaces for students.
And then for my line of work, there's obviously tons of challenges with marketing, like what trends to use, what platforms coming out. But like Jennifer was saying, the biggest thing people go through in all business is mindset. Which is why I'm so adamant about helping people change that mindset to a growth mindset, to a limitless mindset.
Right.
So I'm putting my clients, a lot of times it's me kind of focusing like, what do I want now? You can fix. What can you do differently? To say, oh, this is possible. If I do have this message and this dream, I can make it possible for them.
Right. That's definitely a good point. The next question that I wanted to ask is, have you ever used your company's employment assistance program? If so, how was your experience? And if not, did you ever feel like you wanted to, but then you didn't want to because you didn't want the employer, to know that you were utilizing that program? So, does anybody want to speak to
You
that?
just answered the question for me. I
Okay.
didn't want anybody to know. I never utilized it. I don't need any help. I'm fine,
Right.
right? But I was a slave for 33 years, thinking everything, talking myself into having. So, no, I never accessed it. I knew it was there. If I could do it all over again, I would have accessed it.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I would second that.
What part of the company were you saying did she utilize?
Employee assistance.
The
I did
employment
not.
assistance program.
I did not
So
utilize it.
EAP. Well, some companies just say EAP, but it's the employee
Does
assistance
every
program.
large company normally have
They
that?
should.
Normally they do.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're supposed to. Now they don't always
Yeah.
tell you. That's the
Yeah.
other thing. It's like a part of your health care.
Yeah,
Plan.
it's usually part of the benefits. HR
Yeah.
would know about it, and they'd be your connection point to find out, what it offers. I know, like for my company, you get 3 free sessions, and then they can connect you for additional resources if you need.
So Jordan, do you have anything to add?
I definitely agree for from one, my business is self-employed, so I don't have that kind of resources in that aspect. When I was working with corporate America, I wouldn't use it for the same purpose. I don't want people to know that I'm struggling and trying to figure stuff out. I do it myself until I'm here now.
Right.
Yeah. My reason for not using it just because I've never heard anyone use it. I'm one of those people I don't go eat at a place unless it has 4 stars on Google.
Right.
Or Yelp.
Right.
So, no one's recommended it. No one's had a good experience. No one's talked
Right.
about using it. So, and the company never really highlights it. They're just kind of hey, we have this program, and that's it. They never give
Exactly.
full details what it looks like. So, for me, I guess maybe it's a lack of understanding, or also having some kind of other people around me who have experience with using it and positive experiences. I know friends who have gone to therapy and they've talked about that, so I know what it looks like. And I've been to a professional as well. So, but the AP program is just no one's talked about it. It doesn't have
Right.
good ratings as far as I know,
That's
or
true.
where I can kind of vet it. So
Right.
that's part of the reason why I haven't used it. So maybe it could be on the company to do more with marketing it or
Yeah,
talking more about how
I
it's
agree.
available?
Because I've worked, well, I didn't say this in the beginning, but one of the reasons why my company is called, the name Job Mojo came from one of my best friends and her mom used to always be like, Angela, you know you can get a job real quick. And I'd be like, oh, okay. And they were like, no, you got that mojo. Like, you need to call that company Job Mojo. And I was like, you know what? That's what I'm going to do. But I've worked in different industries. I worked in public and private sector. And neither one really took the time to explain what EAP was. And a lot of people, and I remember one of my first jobs, like, out of college, out of grad school, it seemed like everybody was going through stuff. Nobody wanted to contact EAP. So it was like, but you had these resources, and they had free sessions. Like, they had like 7 or 8 free counseling sessions. And you could just go and just say whatever is going on. I mean, it could be something big, something small. And I think, had they really, or the employer really taken that time to like talk to us about it, yeah, definitely, I think more people would have been engaged in it. So,
You have a question?
okay.
You can comment, or-
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I got a little late.
Oh, no, that's okay.
Yeah, so like, I personally had used EAP with my companies, the companies I've been with. I think a lot of people did use it. One, just like you said, there's misinformation or no information about it, and then there's a stigma attached to it,
Yeah.
And, and I think people think that whatever they say is going to be reported back to the boss, or, that they're going to get in trouble or something, or what they say or what they're admitting, but that's definitely not the case, because the therapists, they can't say anything about what you talk about in the session, unless you're going to harm yourself or someone else. So, I've had great experiences with it, with EAP, the companies that I've been with. I was fortunate to have companies that actually explained that as part of the benefits package.
Well, what companies did you work for? I think everybody need to know who you've been working for.
I think, let me see, who explained it really well? Now, I worked with National Instruments.
Okay, yeah, that's
Over
pretty.
on that.
Yeah.
Let me see, who else explained it pretty well? That was really the only company that explained it pretty well.
Yeah.
National Instruments.
I was going to add to her that I have used it myself when I was at a hospital, and it was very beneficial for me. I did have the stigma, like she was saying, like things might not be confidential. Give that to the boss or whatever. But even so, then I had a choice. Like if I didn't like that particular therapist, I could go to someone else. So it was a great, fortunate thing for me. My company, it was at a hospital.
Jackie, did you want to?
Yeah, so I actually work in HR, and when I was new into HR, I'm always talking about EAP, encouraging employees to take advantage of the benefit. However, when I was going through something, I was like, I don't need it, I'm okay. My friend actually called, got me on the phone, and made me actually get on and go through a session, and that was probably the best thing I ever did. So it gave me an example to talk to, employees about. Like, you know what, sometimes you might feel like, I don't really need to talk to anyone. I can go through this myself. But it's always a great benefit to talk to someone who has that doesn't know you. It can give you something to think about. Give you some ways to think about things differently.
I definitely agree. So that kind of takes us to the next question that I have is, do you feel like there are adequate resources in your area? And when I say area, I mean like this city, wherever, your workplace, overall, for people who need mental health support. Do you feel like there's adequate things in place?
I would say that there is, but like she was saying, they're not marketed enough. Like not enough people know about it, not enough people are talking about it, it's not mainstream enough. And once you have that word of mouth going, that makes a huge difference in people's lives, especially for us people who are trying to stay strong and just pray our way to it instead of like relying on social psychology for help or therapy like that. Makes a huge difference. I think having a good support team like my sister helping me to where I'm at now is crucial. Having that connection, a way to find a way to meet more people that way, have more stuff on social media, and have more like fundraisers around town make a huge difference for us.
I'd say no, and particularly because of the role that I had prior to being a policy analyst for the Medical Association. I was a behavioral health consultant, and so I would go around for this role to primary care practices and try to help them integrate behavioral health treatment within that setting. And it kind of blew my mind that your primary care physician isn't necessarily equipped to treat your depression or anything else that you're kind of mentally dealing with. And sometimes they haven't even considered it. They just see like, okay, I'm treating diabetes, that's it. But like, if a person has depression, they're probably not going to be able to manage their diabetes well. So that's something you want to take into consideration. So seeing how siloed our healthcare system is, where the health is kind of detached from the person itself. The mental health piece is detached from the person's overall health. And I think because that's set up that way, the rest of society kind of falls in line too with, this is where like people who are dealing with stuff and crazy people go. And, we all live our normal lives, not like it's all integrated, that we all are dealing with things and that it should be seamless to just like talk about like, hey, I'm dealing with something, here's where I can go, just as easily as you can find a grocery store. And that's not the case. Even trying to pull together resources, particularly for people in rural areas, that's super rough. And then if you want it to be culturally appropriate and or competent for your needs, like that's even more of a struggle.
Do you have anything?
I would say for me, when focusing on students, it's hard to find safe spaces for them to feel comfortable to approach and address mental health.
Okay.
And there's a lack of resources on that issue when it does come to having dialogues and facilitating those needs for students when it comes to their mental health needs, because it's always, there's so much stigma to addressing those mental health needs, thinking that, oh, I'm just crazy, or holding it to a stereotypical point of view to like, oh, they're just gonna put me on medication, I'm just gonna lose my mind or something. And so one of the things at ACC that I've been working on with my department is doing peer-to-peer training regarding mental health. Students can get trained in how to approach and address mental health with one another. Because students can relate to each other and they can, talk about things like, I'm having anxiety about this test I didn't study for because I decided to go to sleep.
And that happens all the time, yes.
And so with stress and anxiety, especially when students are facing like midterms and finals and things like that, where's a safe space that they can come to actually talk about what they're going through and have some relatability in that situation?
Thank you. So now I want to get into the question of what is self-care for you all. So my whole thing is I'm real big on self-care because I think that is important. It kind of goes hand in hand with your mental health and your physical health. And then also you want to take care of your finances because long term we got to think about that. So what is do you have a self-care routine? If so, what are some of the things that you do?
I'll go ahead and start. I told you guys about a free gift, so let me get that to you first. If you take out your phones real quick, and I want you guys to go to a website, and this is going to give you a checklist. I wrote the book 33 Years a Slave, Removing Chains from Life, Love, and Business, and I talk about the 33 chains that kept me bound to all of those. So now what I did was I broke those chains. Right, and now that's part of my self-care. I don't deal with a job anymore. I don't deal with certain family members. I don't deal with certain people anymore. It's all about me. So if you guys will go to bit.ly /33 years a slave, and you can download your checklist. bit.ly /33 years a slave. And so what I found was in taking care of myself, because I was so busy taking care of others, that I'm a better mother to my kids. I'm a better servitude to women or men that want to quit their jobs. I'm able to do my job even better. You know what I'm saying? Because I cut out all that other stuff.
Noise. Yeah, that's what I heard.
I'm sorry, what was the question? bit.ly /33 years a slave. You're welcome.
How can we get your book?
It's back there. You can get it from me. It's in the back.
She's like, I came prepared.
I came prepared. It also has a journal. It also has a journal that goes with it that I really emphasize people to work through, but I don't want to take up. Just when I get too much, just go like
You're low on.
Self-care. I define self-care by taking care of your wellness. Of course. With me, it's all about the creative. So with me, what I do, I write. Either letters or poetry or whatever the case may be. And I just sit outside and just write. That's what I do for my self-care practices. Or I just take a bubble bath and drink some wine. Just soak into the bubbles. But for my underage folk, writing poetry has always been an outlet for me when it came to stressors, anxiety, and various things that have been burdens in my life. So just writing it out, just making it poetic, or just freestyling it, you know?
Yeah. I think self-care, there's the general components of like taking good physical care, like eating healthy, exercising, making sure you get good sleep. But I think self-care too is just a response to self-awareness. So it takes you taking time to understand yourself. What are your needs? Because self-care for like doing yoga might not be your thing, but like if you really understand your body and your needs, you'll find something that you can really respond to. So it's responding to your body's needs, and also just like your mental needs, understanding like what are my triggers, what things kind of bring up these different emotions, and how do I deal with that? What does my body need to calm down and to relax and to be at peace? What things bring me joy, whether it's relationships with people and taking time to spend that time with people. That I think is how I really try to take care of myself and in that aspect.
I think that's definitely important. Triggers is a good key word.
I'm super big on self-care. As an entrepreneur, I'm working like 100 hours a week, like non-stop. So I don't have that self-care there. I'm like always going to lose it, not work as hard and productive. So I do a couple of things. One, we should build our work around our life. Have that life-work balance instead. And every single Sunday I do this exercise as a bonus gift for you guys. What I do is I would grade myself on all my aspects of life. Emotionally, spiritually, financially, socially, the whole 9 yards. Overall on my goals, I do from 1 to 10. And by doing this, I'm always on track where I'm going every single week. And I'll never go higher than a 9. Because we can always be improving. So let's say this week I'm a 5 socially. What can I do differently? Let's see, if I make more phone calls, if I go out more, if I go to more networking events like now, I can be a 7. And then what am I doing right now that's making me a 5? What can I stop doing?
Right.
So it kind of makes you your own guru. Because no one wants to be told what to do.
Right.
Especially nowadays, that stigma we're all talking about. No one likes to be told what to do. So we have this way of taking stock in our own lives, we become our own guru, and take real self-care control about that.
I think that's great. I'm going to have to use that. And so I'm just going to wrap it up with